This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Mike Whitlow, the COO of ECR Minerals. Hi Mike, good to be talking to you again. How are you?
And you, Mark, thanks for having me back. It's absolutely fantastic. Hope you're well.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Mike. So let's, there's been a few things announced from ECR. Of course, you're new into the role. There's a lot of changes going on at the company. First of all, can I just ask you, well, how are you finding it? You know, have you got your feet firmly under the desk yet, got to grips with the company and the state of the nation?
Yeah, finding it busy. I think I spent Saturday evening last weekend up to my neck in a whole bunch of paperwork, emails, just lots and lots going on. And you know, we've had a good response to the news that we've put out. There's lots of news, there's lots going on, there's lots to talk about, and getting that communication out to the secondary market, to shareholders, new and old, is incredibly important. But look, you know, getting the fanfare together is one thing, but the reality is there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes, and that's what we're doing right now.
Well, you got that corporate update out, didn't you, just a few days ago there, really just stating the way things are. I thought that was quite good to get that out so rapidly, really stating where each project is. But there are still decisions to be made, aren't there, I think, on a number of projects there. Absolutely. In terms of the way forward. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it was imperative that we give an update to shareholders to let them know how the land lay at that point in time. But absolutely, there's likely to be some changes and twists and turns in direction. You know, we've pegged some new ground up in Queensland. We think that tenement is interesting. We're going to talk a lot more about it once that license is awarded. I'd like to talk more about it now, but I think it would perhaps be inappropriate to do so. But it's an interesting area. We suggest that people should look at that as deeply as they possibly can with the data that's available. We've got the guys on the ground in Queensland. There's results coming from there. We had 128 ppm from our recent sampling campaign that's been taking place at Lulworth. And that's encouraging. But what's more encouraging is we've got additional high-grade samples, and quite a few of them in and around that area too. So this isn't sort of a one-off sample in an isolated area. There now seems to be clusters of interest, and we'll use this data and crunch it and then get a work program prepared for later in the year into early next year, and hopefully we can start to go through that process of building the data set sufficient that we can go to a point of target generation, rank those assets, and get a drill out in the field, because that's what investors love to see. And we can hope to try and get a result, but you've got to get shots on target first, and then the will of man is the win, and that's goals, and we only get them when the ball hits the back of the net. So, you know, we'll start punching some holes in some of these assets and getting the market enthused, we hope, by the work that we've done today and the work that we can, hope to do in the future.
Well, that is, of course, the first bit of major news, really, from the new management here at ECR, the application for the exploration licence at Kodaparinga. That is in the Lulworth area. So you're actually talking already about planning a work programme and getting drills out. That is the plan, is it, Mike, to actually get active as soon as you possibly can?
Well, look, the plan is you have to do your reconnaissance and your early stage exploration work. You have to build up the data sets, and you have to start to profile the area. And when you've got, when you're comfortable, then you move things forward. And some people go through lots of different processes of sampling and, using an XRF gun and doing some sort of, remote sensing. And there's lots of different things to do. Or you can kind of do what some of the guys have done over in Canada, where you do sort of high definition soil sampling, and then you punch a hole straight in. They've had results out there with that. So everybody's got their own idea about how to do things. And of course, the DNA of the geology is very, very different. And it's actually very different between, what we're seeing down at Lulworth, and maybe the new application, that geology is different because you've got sort of predominant gold in one area, and then we've got gold and rare earth and a few other things in Lulworth. So it is quite interesting that you can operate in what seems to be close proximity, yet the geological feature is very, very different. We've got a lot of plans, Mark, for Queensland. I think at this point it's worth mentioning that it would appear that old legacy management, if you will, have kind of closed the door on Victoria, and we want to crack that open again, let a bit of light back in, and maybe let investors know that we've not given up on that. We think getting some sort of secondary and tertiary validation, technical validation on the assets that we've got there. We've spent a hell of a lot of money in Victoria. We've had a big operation down there once upon a time. We think that there's value to it, and we've certainly not given up. That's not to say that we're going to be rushing out and sort of enacting and engaging and scaling up the business again right now. But what it means is we're looking at everything that we've got, even down to these accumulated tax losses in NGA. Is there some value to that? Can we meet the tax criteria where there's some continuation? So, can this be? Is this an asset within itself? Is it something we can dispose of for a gain to ECR Minerals? Is there a deal to be done here? And we're looking into that, and I've been communicating with the director of MGA over in Australia, and we're looking into it. We're looking to see whether there's an opportunity there, and $73 million of accumulated losses to somebody could be extremely valuable. But again, we have to caution that this is the ifs and the buts, and we know that what investors want and what they need to see. And I think at this point we'll do everything we can in order to deliver that.
Well, that all sounds very good. You want to deliver. If I can ask you, perhaps just to finish off here, how can you judge your success? Thinking about smart objectives here, how are you going to judge or measure your performance?
I mean, look, we're going to be judged by our market performance. Nick and I have agreed a remuneration package, which is predominantly in stock. That stock will be issued to us 3 months after the date that it was indicated to market, on the proviso that was successful. What we'd like to do is we'd like to see those shares be worth a lot more in the future than they are today. And if we're able to do that, we're able to sort of build the company into a prevailing market. That means we keep getting paid, and hopefully everybody who supports it does quite well out of it. That's the ideal situation. If it doesn't go to plan, then it's going to be a short-lived time in the company. I'll be COO no longer if we're unable to, drive the business forward. We won't get remunerated. People don't want to do this for the shits and giggles. We're in it. We're in it because we genuinely believe that we can get a bang for the buck for shareholders and ourselves, and that's our sole intention at this moment in time.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mike, for that update today. I look forward to following further updates as and when they come out. I'm sure it won't be too long, but for now, thank you very much for your time, Mike Whitlow, COO of ECR Minerals.
Hope to speak to you again soon. Thanks.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.